Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I am sharing everything about my first trimester with baby number 3. At the time of filming this, I'm currently 14 weeks along. I am freshly in the second trimester and it feels good. It feels good. Some crazy things have happened the last couple of days, just the first few days of the second trimester. But while the first trimester is still fresh in my mind, I took pretty detailed notes every single week, just so that I could look back and see how I was feeling and share all of that with you. So this is definitely going to be a little bit more TMI. So if you are a male, now would probably be the time to click out of this video, unless you're watching for the sake of wanting to know more for your significant other, or your wife's pregnant or wants to be pregnant and you just want a little bit more insight. But just be ready for some girly things to be chatted about. But a couple of things before we started. My last video is all about us decorating for Christmas. So yes, we already have our Christmas tree up. I got the Christmas colored pillows, like just all of it. I'm staring at my stockings and all the trees and it's just so cozy in here. So if you would like to see just a little decorating family vlog, that is my video before this. And then my video before that, or maybe 2 before that, was me giving the 2-week wait symptoms before I found out that I was pregnant and had that positive pregnancy test. So if you are interested in those like 2 weeks from conception to positive pregnancy test, check out that video. Otherwise, today I'm starting at 4 weeks pregnant, explaining all of the symptoms that I've been feeling up until the second trimester started. So let's hop in and start with 4 weeks pregnant. So I had a positive pregnancy test on about 3 weeks, 6 days pregnant. So I was not even 4 weeks pregnant, just 1 day shy of 4 weeks pregnant. But around that 4-week mark, I got really, really bad acne. Now, there are definitely going to be some themes of the things that I have experienced throughout this first trimester, but acne is definitely one of those themes that there are going to be multiple weeks in a row where I'm talking about breakouts on my face and like just my chest area, mostly like on the hormone spots, like on my jaw. And thankfully I have makeup so I can try to clear it. I can try to cover it up, but it's one of those things that is just not fun to deal with. So acne got insanely bad. I was very achy, very, very achy, a super bad lower back ache, like just aches here, my hips, my legs, honestly, just everywhere was achy. Kind of felt like the flu, which I don't get the flu that often, but it just felt like I was just under the weather. And it was weird to feel that so early. But again, this is my 3rd baby, so I'm just going to be experiencing things a little bit earlier and a little bit more intense with preceding pregnancies. I wrote that I was very tired, and in the morning I had cold-like symptoms. So I've experienced this with other pregnancies as well, but it's weird. Like some days, just that first like hour of the day, I just have like sneezing and blowing my nose a lot. And after about an hour, it just goes away. And so it's like, oh man, I'm having really bad allergies, or like I woke up with a cold. But then in reality, like it's not that, it's just a pregnancy thing and it just goes away, and it's only in the morning, and it's very odd. I'm needing to pee in the night. This is never something I've experienced in the first trimester, but here we are. I know a lot of people experience it, and hopefully it goes away soon. At 4 weeks, the last thing I wrote was that my fingers were slightly swollen. There were days, this could also be with just the weather and like the changing of seasons too, but there were days getting my ring on and off were really hard, and my finger had like a huge indent in it. I actually like, took it off for a couple hours and was like, ooh, it's just kind of swollen, but I can get my ring on and off fairly easily now. But it was just like that week, it was just a little bit swollen. Moving on to 5 weeks pregnant, I wrote that I had so much acne. So like these blemishes on the face and the body were just not going away. I wrote that I had extra mucus and I was achy in my hips and kind of all over. And I also wrote that I was kind of crampy. I had occasional headaches, but none of them lasted long. They weren't like full-on migraines. They were just like a little bit of a headache, drink some extra water, maybe take a Tylenol, and it would go away. And still peeing in the night and out of breath. This was a time no one really knew we were pregnant yet, because again, I was only 5 weeks, but it was that like if I would be like sending a Marco to a friend and like walking up the stairs, I'd be like, and then I did this. And I was like, they're gonna know I'm pregnant because I can't breathe normally if I'm trying to do multiple things at once. Like walking up the stairs, I'm like, what is wrong with me? I'm like, don't have a big belly or anything. I'm 5 weeks, but I can't breathe. 6 weeks, still out of breath. And still cold symptoms in the morning. I wrote specifically very sneezy and runny nose. So it'd be like sneeze, 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 sneeze. And then sneezing causes more runny nose, but then you blow your nose and then it kind of makes you sneeze. And it was just kind of this like back and forth, but again, only in the morning. Lower back pain is so bad, especially at night. I still have not broken out the pregnancy pillow, but one of these weeks I need to, because that lower back ache can get so bad and you just need something there to like help. Woke up a lot in the night just needing to get in a more comfortable position. So just kind of like, I'm not uncomfortable because of a big belly, but just like the changing hormones just make your body like feel things where you're just kind of like, I just need to like reposition. Small occasional aches, constipation, and occasional pain in the night. 7 weeks. This is where it gets a little more intense. Sudden bursts of diarrhea and achy tummy. So if you are a very close friend of mine, you are well aware of my upset stomachs that I have dealt with this pregnancy. I experienced this for only 2 weeks with my first, and I didn't at all with my second. And so I would get occasional stomach aches. I didn't know what it was from. It wasn't after I ate a certain type of food. It wasn't after I did a certain type of activity. It was just random. Sometimes it was after I had just eaten. Sometimes it was while I was eating. Sometimes it was hours after I had eaten. So like there was literally no rhythm or like reason for when it was happening. Morning cold symptoms, again, still peeing in the night, still out of breath. And I wrote that eggs were just not a thing that I wanted. I don't have a ton of aversions, but there's like a few things that just don't sound good. The thought of it doesn't make me vomit or get nauseous or like, oh, if I think about that, I'm gonna throw up. But it's more like the thought of it just doesn't sound good to me. Like breakfast food and like eggs specifically, I was just kind of like, doesn't sound great. Doesn't make me want to throw up, but just doesn't sound great. I wrote, I'm either eating everything in sight or nothing sounds good at all. It was this weird, like if we were eating food out or something on the weekend, my husband would like have to make me choose because it was like, this doesn't sound good. This doesn't sound good. This doesn't sound good. This one thing sounds good. And that's, I guess, what I need. But then there were days where I was just like everything I could see. I was like, I need that. I need that. I need that. And the other days it was like literally just nothing sounds good. So it was just that weird, like drastic one or the other. 8 weeks, officially 2 months pregnant. My allergies were so bad. Now, again, if you are a close person in my life, or I send Marco Polos to you, or you see me on a regular basis, like you have probably heard about how bad my allergies have been this pregnancy. Some days really, really bad, some days non-existent. I have had to cancel some piano lessons I teach because there were days I could not open my eyes due to any type of light making them water and sting and itch. And it's awful. It usually lasts for like 2 to 4 days at a time and then completely goes away for weeks. And then one day it just randomly happens again and there is no indication. It's not like there's extra whatever in the air, like it just happens. I have no clue what I'm allergic to, but it's like I know allergies in pregnancy can just get worse. So some days it's just so bad, and I had multiple days this week during the 8 weeks where they were awful. I wrote, food is still a hit or miss. I'll want something so badly and then feel icky as soon as I eat it. I do not eat McDonald's ever. It had been since I was like 16 since I had like eaten anything McDonald's. I've been getting Diet Coke from McDonald's a lot because we'll get to that, but Diet Coke has been amazing to me. Amazing. But there were, in my 2-week wait symptom video, the one that I mentioned at the beginning, there was a time where I went to McDonald's to get a McGriddle like twice. And the second time was the last time I got it. And that's the only food I've had there since I was like 16. Like I mentioned, just don't go to McDonald's. There's way better food than that and it's horrible for you. But when you got a craving, you just gotta fulfill it sometimes, you know? And I one day was feeling really hungry this week and I got 2 McGriddles. I like got partway through one and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever eaten. Like this is awful. It makes me feel gross. It just makes me just feel like, I never want that again. Have not like ordered any food since since. It was just a weird week, I'm telling you. Sudden bursts of stomach ache and diarrhea. Again, this random, like it might be every day, it might be every 3-4 days, but just a run, have a loose stool. Again, sorry for the TMI. Run to the bathroom, have a loose stool, and then I'm fine. And it just comes and goes, and it's the most random thing ever. I still peeing in the night, and I had a cereal craving. And it's kind of still there, kind of not. It was to where I was like, nothing sounds good except cereal. So since then, like we don't eat a lot of cereal, but I did growing up. So it was a very like nostalgic, like heartwarming thing to me. We usually like cook actual like breakfast, but there have been so many times it's like, what do I want for dessert? Cereal. What do I want for breakfast? Cereal. I've had Captain Crunch. I've had Fruit Loops. I've had Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like just all these things where Cookie Crisp, just all these things where I'm like, that's all I want is just a bowl of cereal and maybe 2 bowls of cereal. Like that's just all that sounds good. I had my first ultrasound at this week. Heart rate was in the 170s. Everything was perfect. I got 2 little photos, and this is when we started telling a few more people that we know that we were pregnant. So it was really exciting. 9 weeks. So I heated up some deli meat in the microwave because I know that you're not supposed to have a lot of cold deli meat, but I've eaten cold deli meat slightly like here and there with both my other pregnancies, and my husband's like, it's fine. But I'm like, I like was really wanting deli meat and we had some. So I was like, I want like a ton of this. So I'm going to put it all in the microwave so that I feel better about it. It sounded so good, but it made me feel so gross. Like I ate so much of that stuff that I was just like, ew, I never want to touch that again. That was awful. Why did I do that? But in the moment, it was pretty good. My heartburn started, still peeing in the night. Acne is getting worse again, mostly on my jawline. This is when I started noticing some bloating. I still had lower backache. My body still ached. And I had bad allergies again. So 2 weeks in a row where I had multiple days of really bad allergies. So that was all 9 weeks. 10 weeks, heartburn, diarrhea almost every day. So this diarrhea started at 7 weeks and was like every couple of days. Here at 10 weeks, it was basically every single day. I had extra mucus. Had a huge clump of acne on my right jawline. This has been like the place is my right jawline. Out of breath. Some indigestion after certain foods or just after taking my prenatal. I've been in a routine of taking it at night right before bed, and I know that's not the greatest thing. One night I took it right before bed, and I like drink a lot of water, but typically like you're supposed to take pills with food. But that's just been the time that I've been taking it, and so I'm just like staying consistent with that. And there was just one day, the pill is like pretty large, and I don't have a problem taking it, but I think I just didn't drink enough water after, or maybe didn't have enough in my stomach because I laid down and it was like hurt to breathe. And Trevor was like, you need to eat something. Like your pill's probably like stuck. Ate some wheat thins and it was fine. But I think that I just need to make sure that I'm taking it on like a full stomach and not like a not full stomach. 11 weeks, I had a night or two of insomnia where I was just like, I'm in bed, I'm tired, but why can't I sleep? But it wasn't anything where I was up for like hours and hours, just a couple nights where it was just up a lot, just kind of laying there and I was like, I don't feel tired, but I know that I am and I need to sleep, but why can't I? Heartburn, bloated, upset stomach every couple of days. So this is just a recurring theme here. Achy, and okay, so this week was a little bit interesting, this 11 weeks. So let me pause here. This 11 weeks, so the whole month of October, from like 9 to 12 weeks, basically, 8 to 12, 8 to 11, whatever. We were out of town 3 times in those 4 weeks in the month of October. And with that, it was different trips and work things and a speaking engagement for my husband, and specifically the last one at the end of October at this 11 weeks was a youth convention. This time I went to the bathroom and had spotted a little bit. Now, I'm not a doctor by any means, but I've never spotted during any of my pregnancies. I know other people do, but the only time I've ever bled during a pregnancy up until this point was miscarrying our first baby. And so all I know is blood equals miscarriage. Now, again, I'm not a doctor, but that's all I have personally known. But I've known that to be different because of this pregnancy. Some other things have happened where I've seen blood, but I started spotting, and we are in this huge convention center and I'm surrounded by teenagers, and Trevor is technically like working and all these things, and I am in the bathroom and I'm like trying to hold it together because I'm like, we are in the middle of a service, and I just was like, I need to go to the bathroom for a few minutes. But I had started spotting, and that night I just laid in bed and cried after we got back to our hotel because I was thinking that I was miscarrying. I texted a couple people. Actually, I texted one person. I texted my friend Kat because I was like, I feel like Kat will be awake, and also I just like, I need somebody who's willing to like pray for me in this right now, and not somebody who's instantly going to be like, oh no, you're miscarrying. Like I need somebody who's like trying to be like strong with me and not making me feel worse than I already do. So I started spotting a little bit, and I woke up and it was gone. And then the next day I started spotting a little bit more, and then it was gone. And it was kind of like a week straight from 11 weeks into the 12-week mark where like the mucus I was having, the cervical mucus, was like pink. It wasn't like a full-on red blood. There were no clots. Like it was straight up just like a pink mucus. And I've never experienced that before. But basically, like, I knew it wasn't a miscarriage, but I was like, what's going on? And I just assumed that it was due to like just overexerting my body at this youth convention, since I was up. I was only getting a couple hours of sleep a night. I was on my feet all day, like really tired, kind of that like the end of the first trimester, you're just like, your body's going through a lot. So that was all 11 weeks into 12 weeks. But 11 weeks, I still had back aches. I said I was tearing up really easily. Like there was like 3-4 days in a row where I would just like cry at something, and it was just a little bit odd because I'm like a fairly emotional person, but not to where I'm crying at everything. But when I'm pregnant, like I do tear up more easily, and it wasn't like full on bawling. It was just like, I'm tearing up, and I'm like, why am I tearing up? Still had the cereal craving. I said I feel like I have to pee so easily in the night. Like I will barely drink anything before bed, and then I'll wake up like an hour after sleeping and have to pee so badly that I'm like, if I don't go to the bathroom, I'm gonna pee myself. And this week I also was like, I kind of have occasional like tightenings in my belly, and I've experienced Braxton Hicks with both my other pregnancies starting really early. One pregnancy, I think it was 22 weeks, and the next one it was like 20. So I know that I will experience Braxton Hicks again. It's like just guaranteed basically, because my other two was like half my pregnancy I experienced it. So I'm like, I'll probably experience it again with this third one, but like probably sooner because it's the third. But I was like, I wouldn't call it Braxton Hicks, but I wrote like some start of Braxton Hicks, question mark, because I don't know. But 12 weeks, I was still kind of spotting, but went into the doctor, and the baby's heart rate was 168. This was not an ultrasound, just a regular like checkup. I had awful allergies again a couple of days. I wrote, all I want is cereal. So this is the third week in a row here where I'm experiencing a lot of cereal. Had some weird pains in the night that make me have to sleep in a certain position. Sorry, I said that so like weird, but just some certain things where I'd like lay a certain way and be like, oh, nope, that's not it. I got like a weird pain in my body. I gotta move. And that's just kind of weird, but waking up to pee, ugh, still happening. So much mucus. There were a couple days where I was like, whoa, I have a lot of mucus. At this week, I said only one loose stool. Now I had week 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 5 weeks, 5.5, 6 weeks basically of having loose stools every couple of days or every single day. And so, to only have one in the 12-week mark was a big win. I had a breakout on my forehead, and I said I dreamt about feeling the baby move, and it was one of those things where I woke up and I was like, I think I felt the baby move, and then I was like, it's really early to feel the baby move, and then I was like, that was just a dream. But it was a very vivid dream where I was like, man, it was so cool, I felt the baby move. It was just all in my head and in my dream. So more on, before I move on to the last week here, in that 12-week mark, I wrote that like I got to hear the baby's heartbeat and all of that. So with this, I had, because of the pink mucus that I had been having, I asked my doctor about that, and I was like, hey, like she was like, would you want me to do a cervical check? Like baby's great, baby's heartbeat is really strong, but like, would you like that for just like peace of mind and like to see if I can see anything? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So she said I had a lot of mucus, which is fine. And again, she said something I've never heard of before, and I've had to do a little bit of research and talk to some people who have experienced it too. But she said I had a friable cervix. No, I was like, what the heck is that? That sounds really weird. Basically, like my cervix is just a little bit inflamed and a little bit like sensitive to things. So she said it, like if she would have like poked it, it probably could have bled. And so she's like, that's probably why you're experiencing that, is just your cervix is a little bit more sensitive. So I found out that just more pregnancies you have, and I had a miscarry and then 2 full term, and then this one, that this is my 4th time my cervix has had like stuff going on with it. And so it's just a little bit more like weak and tired and fragile. And the last week of the first trimester, 13 weeks. A lot of people, I think growing up, I thought the start of 13 weeks was the start of the 2nd trimester, but it's actually the end of the 13th week. And so this 13th week, I said all intense things seemed to go away. The pink mucus stopped and the diarrhea stopped. Woo, woo. Diet Coke causes heartburn, but I want it all the time. It's the one pop that I really drink, and I just love it, especially when I'm pregnant. set up, had some random sharp pains in the top of my groin and my belly, just like that uncomfortability, I don't know, however you say that. A couple occasional belly tightenings, peeing in the night basically every night, some spurts of lower back pain, exhaustion hit hard at 13 weeks, 3 days. It was just a day where I was like, I have motivation to do nothing except sit here and do nothing. Although I have 2 young kids, a 1 and a 2-year-old, so I can't just sit and do nothing, but that's how I felt. Both of my nipples were tender and my boobs hurt and I had hip pain and I had so much cervical mucus towards the end of the week. So much to the point where I would go to the bathroom. Again, a little TMI, I'd go to the bathroom, I'd look down to wipe, and there'd be like globs of mucus hanging down. Like, I just have a lot of cervical mucus when pregnant, and it's just who I am. So yeah, that is a recap of my first trimester. In the first trimester, got to have 1 ultrasound and then 1 just other appointment. And so it's really, really great. I've gone in a few times now to check on the baby and everything. And it's so nice to be done with the first trimester. It's that weird feeling where a lot of my pants are not fitting or they hit me at a spot in my belly that really, really hurts. The leggings I'm currently wearing are not comfortable because they hit me right in the middle of my belly. And it actually sometimes like makes my stomach hurt. And so I either have to like wear something high-waisted or wear it below my belly, but it's that weird, like I'm not necessarily like showing, but I'm definitely like really bloated. And so some people can like probably tell there's like something going on, but I don't look like I have a pregnant belly. I just look like I ate too much pizza, you know, pizza and Diet Coke, you know? But I am so happy to be pregnant. It has definitely been the hardest pregnancy so far. This first trimester was the hardest. Now, I know some people are throwing up every single day. They're nauseous every day throughout the first trimester into the second trimester even. And so I do not take that for granted that I don't get nauseous. Like anytime people ask me how I'm feeling, I'm like, you know, it's been okay, but I'm so thankful I don't throw up. Like I say that to basically everyone because I'm like, I don't want to take that for granted because that's so many people's reality and so many women's reality. And I just don't throw up in general. I think I've thrown up like twice in my life. So like I knew I wouldn't be a throw up-y person during pregnancy, but I'm just really, really thankful. I'm thankful baby's okay. I'm thankful I don't throw up. I'm thankful I have 2 other little blessings running around that I get to take care of. Do I wish I could just sleep during the day and just kind of lay here and do nothing? Yes, I do. But it is a season. It is just the thing that once after that first baby, you don't really get to just chillax during your pregnancy. But very thankful just for a lot of things, a healthy baby. And yeah, so you can see some more pregnancy content coming in the near future. Otherwise, check out some of those videos that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And then I'm hoping to film another one of these after the second trimester. So I will see you for a similar video like this at the end of the second trimester. But I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thanks for being here, and tag some of your mama friends below or mama to be friends of just like, here is a real overview of what a first trimester can look like. Obviously everyone's is very different. Every woman's body is different, but this is what I've experienced for a 3rd baby. And it is definitely a bit intense sometimes, but it's all worth it to hold that little one in our arms, and May cannot come soon enough. We just got to get through this crazy winter first. So see you guys soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.